Just a quick one before we dive in. I've just opened up 2 brand new ways to work with me. If you're an established beauty professional who's ready to increase your revenue, either in your clinic or by moving into the online mentoring and educational space, you can join me for a 2-month container where we build and validate your first online offer or your next big move. Or if you're ready to go all in, there is a 7-month private mentorship where we build, launch and scale your new revenue stream together. If you're not sure which one's right for you, I'm offering a handful of free business clarity calls, quick and powerful to map out your fastest path and to see which container fits best. Just DM me the word revenue on Instagram or check the link in the show notes and email me. Let's get into the episode.
Welcome to the Beauty Build podcast with me, Zara King. As a coach for beauty pros, it is my mission to help you earn more, work less, and create an unstoppable mindset. This is the show where we explore all of that. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting your beauty business, this podcast is for you. So sit back, relax, and join us on the journey. And for more, get yourself inside my private community, The Beauty Build on Facebook.
Hello, you gorgeous human you, and welcome back to another episode of the Beauty Build podcast with me, Zara King. Welcome if you're new here. I do feel like I should say that sometimes. Welcome, welcome. I know that we have lots of you that tune in from different countries all over the place, and I'm not 100% sure if that's just because some of you usual listeners are on holiday, but there are so many different countries listening, and so hello and welcome. I'm Zara King. I am a beauty business coach. I know there's an intro, but I'll just give you a little bit of an intro again. If you're new here, I absolutely love sitting down and recording these podcast episodes when my babies are at school and in between one-to-one coaching calls and in between working with my members, because it just gives me that outlet, and then I listen back and I get to interview people that I absolutely adore in this industry. And I feel like, if anything, like I give you guys so much value, but I also love it for myself as well. It's like this amazing way of energy exchange. It fills me up, but I'm also pouring into you guys, and I bloody love it. I don't know why, just call me crazy. I absolutely love it. So today I really wanted to, it's going to be a bit of a ranty kind of podcast episode. So just to give you a bit of a life update, I've been really busy with one-to-one clients, really busy with membership, and stepping into what feels like a new level of me again and a new level of business again. And if you know me, you know that I tell you guys that every level has a new devil, and that you have to like step into this new person. You have to be the person who is ready to hold this next level of business. And because my youngest child, who is only 3, has started more hours at nursery, I have now got more time on my hands to do things for my business. And so I can work with more clients, I can produce different things, I can revamp offers. And so although I've been doing this a long time, I feel like I'm stepping into a new level. So that has been busy, like good busy. And so I'm really working on my habits again. I'm really working on up-leveling my own mentorship, my own personal development. So like reading different books and things like that. I'm redoing the magic. I love the magic. So I'm doing another 28-day gratitude challenge. If you've never done that before, I suggest you do it because it will change your life. What else have I been up to? I've been actually catching up with friends and things. And you know what? Because I'm in a stage of where I'm sort of getting into new bits and bobs with business, I've had to cancel on a couple of people recently. At time of recording, I have cancelled a couple of social events, and it's because I'm practicing what I preach, and I'm looking at my week thinking I've oversubscribed to people this week and I can't do it all. So I've had to pull back a little bit, and I think it's in conjunction with my feminine cycle as well. If you know, you know. So that's where I've been at. I've been busy with work, and I've been cutting back on social activities and really revamping things like the gym, getting back into that, because I definitely did not go to the gym during the school summer holidays. So I got back into that this week. It is mid-September when I'm recording this, so I've not done too badly. I had a bit of a staggered start back into the flow of things, and then got back into the gym, starting to really prioritise nutritional meals, starting to prioritise 10,000 steps a day, just getting back to me and beyond. So that's that. But really, I've also been having conversations with people about a few different topics in the industry, and I wanted to do an episode on like each one. I was like, oh, I'll do an episode on that. And every conversation I'm having, I'm like, oh, I'll do an episode on that. And I've just got so many ideas. And then there are a few things that came up that were a little bit ranty, that I was a bit like, oh, I need to talk about this. And so I thought, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put them together, and I'm going to do a bit of an episode, and I don't even know what I'm going to call it yet, but it's just going to be one of those episodes that's a little bit unfiltered, no mess, like no fluff, just the pure truth of what I've been thinking and what I've been discussing with people at the moment. So bear in mind, if you are easily offended, you might want to skip this one, because who knows what I'm going to say. But if you do want to grow, then it's probably for you. So if you're happy to stick around and listen to me ranting about a couple of things about the industry, then stick around, stay with me. And the first thing that I think is something that keeps coming up, I keep talking about this with one particular person. If you're listening, you know who you are. And it's the thing about online selling, marketing, social media. It's that amazing thing that we have as a tool to grow our business. But it is the whole engagement thing, the whole followers thing, the vanity metrics. And okay, so what I mean by that, let me just break it down, because I know that I'm in my head about it, so it's just all coming out like verbal diarrhea. But basically what I mean by it is everybody obsessing over the number of likes that they get on social media when they put a post out, number of story views that they get when they put something up, number of comments, number of saves, reshares, that type of thing. All of these are vanity metrics, and number of followers that you've got as well. It's a vanity metric. It means that it's not the thing that pays the bill. It's not a conversion. It's not somebody popping into your DM saying, I really want what you've got to sell me. It's just somebody double tapping or commenting and giving you engagement. So these are all the vanity metrics that we just like to use to give ourselves status. They don't give us anything else, these numbers. They don't necessarily pay our bills unless Instagram is paying you per like. And one of the key things here within the beauty industry is this, right? You are not going to be able to have, if you're a beauty business owner who, rents a space or works from home on your own, you're self-employed, that the majority of people that I help in this industry are self-employed. They're either mobile, at home, or renting a space. And the truth is, if that's you, is you are not going to be able to serve more than 100 odd people. Okay. But only having 100 odd followers, people don't love that. Like, you don't love it. You get upset about it. You're like, oh, I've only got so many followers. Okay, cool. But what is the end goal here? Because you're not going to be able to serve much more than that. And let me tell you, I was a fully booked beauty therapist, earning exactly what I wanted to earn and more in my home-based beauty room with under 500 followers, just under 500 followers. And so let that just be the perspective for you. I didn't obsess over it. I was not, don't get me wrong, there were times where I was like, oh, I wish I had this, I wish I had that. You do get stuck into comparison, and you do start looking elsewhere and getting shiny object syndrome. Of course you do. But the truth is that I want you to know is you can still have a very successful business and have smaller numbers on social media. I've also worked with women in the industry who have got tens of thousands of followers, yet they're not earning what they want to earn. They are after they work with me, because they then take their business seriously and treat their business like a business. Did I take them on for a few weeks or 12 weeks or go into my group program and tell them really focus on the following count number, or really focus on the likes number, or really focus on the comments? No, I did not. That wasn't part of the strategy, and it wasn't part of the mindset work that we did. So what you have to do is you have to build up this resilience to stop chasing the likes and stop chasing, the following numbers, and start thinking about how you can use social media as the tool that it is, the free tool, by the way, that it is, that you're lucky enough to have to grow your business. I cannot stress enough that those numbers are not as important as actually knowing the numbers in your business. So many people that I speak to compare their numbers, but if I said to them, well, what's your revenue? They have no idea. And that, to me, as I say it out loud, sounds absolutely ridiculous. I don't know about you listening, but I can literally think of 3 conversations of 3 separate clients that I've had in the last month that I've asked them for numbers, whether it be client numbers, whether it be the numbers about where they need to be to quit their full-time job, as in what income they actually need to give them what they need to suit their lifestyle and pay their bills, or the numbers that they've turned over. And none of them have given me the figures back. It's been, oh, well, I think this, or I think it's roughly, no. okay, but how many followers have you got on social media? And they'll be able to tell me, oh, well, I've got 567. Do you get my point? And, you know, like, this is why I caveated this episode with don't stick around if you're easily offended, because I bet you're thinking, oh my goodness, this is me. Like, it's been me at some point in my life, or it's me now. And if it is, like, no, I'm not saying this, like, I'm actually holding your hand as I say this, and I say it with love, because you need to know that those numbers, they're just going to derail you. Don't worry about those numbers. Think about actually strategizing in your business, and the numbers in your business are what matters the most. Also, just to double say it, well, that was kind of triple. You never know what's going on behind somebody's social media accounts, okay? Like I said, I've worked with people with tens of thousands, and they're not where they want to be in their business. They are getting cancellations, or they're getting no inquiries, or they haven't had somebody in the salon for like 2 days. And, you know, you just don't know what they're dealing with behind closed doors. And another thing, actually, that I spoke to somebody about today on, like, after we'd wrapped up an interview, was that, you know, you can go viral on social media. You can get loads of followers. And so, I mean, one person actually, it ties into this. What I was going to say is we were speaking about going viral, and you can go viral and it can convert into followers. And so, but that doesn't convert into sales. And that's what we said in this interview. Anyway, it's reminded me that another client I worked with a couple of years ago, I think it was 2022, she had gone and like racked up a few followers in the lockdown period. And a lot of people have done this as well, by the way. And because they were more active on social media during that time, they had loads of followers. But when it came back into when we were working together in 2022, there were no clients paying her a decent amount. You know, prices weren't right. The business wasn't right. The business numbers weren't right. So again, it just backs up what I'm saying about the fact that you need to stop comparing yourself to these numbers that you see online. That's the first thing that I keep talking about with people, because that obsession is just ridiculous. And it leads me on nicely to something that I was talking about with the same person. And that is, you know, like if a company has got a big following, or influencers in the industry that have got a big following, it's allowing them almost to get away with doing like crap content, or saying things that you just think that wasn't necessary. Like, it's incredible what people will do these days for a following. There's that, I'm just going to put it out there. But also separately, like, you know, when you look up to big companies and things, and then you see something that they post and you think, well, that was absolutely shocking. It wasn't a very good piece of content. It was a crap piece of content. Yet it's gotten so many likes and it's gotten so many comments. And you just think, look, it is okay. We don't need to complain about it. We don't need to sit and compare ourselves to it and go, well, that was crap, but they've got X amount of likes and my work is so good and mine's only got this amount of likes. At the end of the day, when you build a following, those people are like your fan base. They will like whatever you put out. And unfortunately, for people that have got a big following, whether you like it or not, they are going to get engagement. It doesn't mean to say that the work and the reels and the whatever it is they're putting out there is actually any good. Yes, I know it can be frustrating, because look, if they're a big company and they've got some sort of reputation and they have influence over people, and then that influence is buying decisions, yes, don't get me wrong, it can be frustrating. It can be really frustrating. But hey, what you control is your energy, your emotions, your reactions, your activity, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. That is all that you can control. So when it comes to these big companies that are getting away with all this crap and this nonsense, honestly, it's almost like you've just got to remove yourself from it, because how can you compare when you're literally up against people that have built up this following and have this fan base that will like even the most crap pieces of content? You know, I just think I wanted to touch on this, and I know it's one of those things people will be like, oh my goodness, sorry, you're not allowed to say that about brands in the industry. But you know what? Yes, I am, because everyone's entitled to an opinion, and I don't think it's a negative. I want you to know that yes, some people have big followings and I don't love what they put out. Do I comment on it and tell them that it's not a great piece of content or that I don't like the message. No. But what I do is I draw from it what I can control. Yeah, it makes me feel a certain way sometimes, but I'll draw from it what I can control, and I'll put it into action that I think is positive, which is this podcast, which is teaching you guys that instead of like having the negative conversation around it in someone else's DMs or mine or in a coaching call with me or whoever, just think about actually what you can control, what you can put out there, and how you can scroll past, and the fact that it's not comparable. It just isn't. I don't think I need to go into that one in much more depth, but I've got two other things that are like really grating on me. One of them is people in the beauty industry expecting to have like dream clients, but not being very dreamy themselves. And this, again, is one of them things. Told you it was going to be ranty. I can't help it. I think I've been told by a few people that they've been to beauty therapists that are absolutely diabolical, like unprofessional. And I just think you're not going to be listening to that if that's you on this podcast, because you wouldn't be listening to this podcast if that was you. Surely not. Please tell me like you don't keep clients waiting outside in the rain for like 20 minutes. Please tell me that is not you. If it is, fix up, because that is not okay. But what I wanted to address is the thing that's like, you see it on social media when people put on their stories, for example, like, you know, about policies or about this has happened, so I've got to do this. And it's very passive aggressive. And it might be that someone's no-showed, so you put a post up, or it might be that someone's late, and so you put a post up or you do a story. And it's a little bit passive aggressive, it's a little bit ranty. And you want other people to see it because you want them to take action and not do that thing that annoys you and that disrupts your business. But anyway, I digress a little bit. What I want to talk about is like, you cannot be inconsistent with clients. Okay, you can't be the person that's like, I need to move that appointment around, but you're going to just send like a one-liner text. It's quite quick. It's a little bit borderline unprofessional, you know, changing things around. You can't be inconsistent. You can't be undercharging people, like charging peanuts and expecting really good clients. You just can't. And it's such a mindset thing here, because I work with people every day that want to earn a decent living in this industry, but they're also scared to up their prices because there are people that are really cheap. Those really cheap people attract really cheap clients. So if you're in a position where you kind of like, you're getting crappy clients, it's probably because, again, you're undercharging. And well, that's just one of the reasons. You can't be undercharging and expecting really good clients. You also can't be like half-arsing stuff. Like during an appointment, for example, if the service level is a little bit half-arsed, I can't cope with it. I actually cannot cope with it. I mean, I've never coached anyone that's like that, but I keep hearing about it. I don't know why. I think it's just insane. I've had one particular person that's told me some real horror stories about a beauty therapist completely half-assing things, but expecting to be able to do things and expect like premium clients almost. Does that make sense? And I think, no, it doesn't bloody make sense. Like, you can't be that way. You know, your clients are going to be a reflection of your own standards. So if you have got client problems, look inwards. That is the point of this part of this episode. I want you to wake up a little bit and actually raise your standards. Look at your standards and identify where those gaps are, and identify what is in your control, and think, am I delivering at a 10? Can I demand level 10 clients? And if there's any if there's any doubt in any area, whether it be your pricings, your policies, everything else, like your service levels, everything that you do, the standards when people walk into your room, raise the bar. Okay, raise the bar. It's normally a telltale sign that there's something not quite right. There's a respect level problem there that's different. I'll tell you a story. If you've been in my world long enough, you might have actually heard this story before. But when I was a full-time beauty therapist from home, I had a client that was really brilliant, and she wanted me to recommend somebody else. I won't go into the detail in case anyone listens to this and they know who they are. But she wanted me to recommend somebody while I was on maternity leave of baby number 3, I believe. And she went to this person that I recommended, but the prices were so much lower than mine. And she didn't take a deposit, whereas I took a 50% deposit. My place was always stunning. It was, always clean. There was not a speck of dust. It was all perfect, always. I was always very professional. The policies were in place. If you messed around, obviously you'd lose your deposit. Not that this client had ever messed me around, so we never had any issues of deposits or payments. And this other person had, like I said, cheaper prices, no deposits, no real policies in place, nothing up front to agree to. And the place wasn't as perfect. But you know why I recommended her? She's good at what she does. And the result is always good. And I didn't know the ins and outs of the policies at that time. I didn't even realise that the prices were much cheaper. Okay? Anyway, so I've recommended this person. And the client has completely messed around. She's been late so many times, and then she cancelled last minute, and then she no-showed, and all this nasty stuff that you just think, yuck. And it was just a prime example of the fact that like attracts like, and that if your price is cheap, people mess around, and that the respect level completely changes. So the minute, not that I'm saying that's okay, because I don't agree. I think that, that person should not have done that. She should never have no-showed. And when she did no-show, she actually refused to pay. And it was because there was nothing agreed to up front. So to be fair, there was nothing enforceable. Now let that be a lesson to you. And let me wrap up this section where I'm moaning about this, because it actually brings my energy down. I can't cope with it. That's what I mean when I say I can't cope. But raise your energy, raise your demanding, not your demands, don't raise your demands, raise your, standards, raise the standards in your business, and look inwards and look at what you offer. And then, go from there with your clients and try to attract those premium clients into your business. If you need help with attracting premium clients, that is what I help people with. So all of the details of working with me, whether it be one-to-one or in the membership, are in the description of this episode. You can have a look at that and come into my world, and we work on that. We work on your mindset. We work on your foundations of your business, pricing, policies, everything, but also attracting premium clients. It's a massive part of what we do. So if that's what you need help with, let me know. Moving on, I think that the last thing I want to talk about is that people, especially, I see it all the time in this industry, but that's because that's what I surround myself with. I keep seeing a lot of ChatGPT content, and the ChatGPT content is fine. But when it's obvious that it's ChatGPT, it becomes an issue because everyone sounds the same. Now, I'm not just going to sit here and tell you to not use it, because it is really effective in helping you out. It's really effective in time saving. It's really effective with, giving you ideas and brainstorming and things like that. Absolutely. There is a place for AI. Now, what I struggle with is that people are using AI, and specifically ChatGPT, for actual thinking tasks, because you can't actually sit and think about what you want to say, about what topic you want to talk about in a piece of content. You don't sit with your own ideas, right? You're not sitting there brainstorming, and you know what's happening? You can't think anymore. And it's not just me saying that. There is actually a study. Well, I'll be honest, I listened to Stephen Bartlett's it wasn't Diary of the CEO. It's his Behind the Diary. If you know me, you know that I'm obsessed. I love Stephen Bartlett and everything that he does. And Behind the Diary, on one of the episodes, he was talking about this study. There's been a study, it's a 200-odd page study about different groups of people that have taken tests. And it comes out that the people that are using ChatGPT to create things is actually affecting your brain. This is a real thing. It's not just, I'm not making this up. It's physically affecting your brain and your ability to remember what it is that you've just done, what you've spoken about, what you've written. And that is why they say, and he said as well, Stephen mentioned, when we get told to write down goals. Why? Because it sticks. We get told to use our hand to paper to write things down. Why? Because it imprints it into our brain and it helps our memory. It builds our cognitive function. And so what ChatGPT is doing is it is removing that from us. And I'm seeing so much crappy content that sounds like absolutely no one. And that's the sort of bottom of the barrel of it. Other people are using it better. Don't get me wrong. They're prompting it a lot better. But we can't be that lazy, because it's killing your brand. It's killing your originality. It's killing your whole method of like the way you vibe with people. It's killing that. It's killing who you are. And don't get me wrong, I've used ChatGPT. Of course, I use it all the time to help me brainstorm, to help me do things. But if I'm writing something, like for example, when I sit down every month and I write my column for Scratch Magazine, if I got ChatGPT to write, I wouldn't have a clue what I'd just written. And it's so true because I've done it. I've done things where I'm like, right, write me up a caption. Do I remember what it said? No. But when I'm talking to somebody and I've put out a really cool piece of content that I fully got the energy behind and I love, that's when you know, because I've written it and I remember it and I'm having a conversation with someone. I go, oh, I just wrote a bit of content about that actually. Do you know what I mean? And I've seen two sides of it. I've built my business with it and without it. And I can just honestly say that it's so true because I've witnessed it. And if you're using ChatGPT, be really careful of the way you're letting it think for you. Use it to work with you. Don't let it think for you. So those are my kind of rants. I think we need to use these tools for support. Stop relying on them. Stop relying on the AI. It's not like going to replace your brain, okay? It's going to ruin it if you let it. So take this responsibility. Take radical responsibility. And in fact, you know what? I think the topic of this conversation is really take radical responsibility, because even if we think about what I spoke about at the beginning about the followers on social media and all the vanity metrics, take responsibility of actually what your KPIs really should be, like what your actual numbers are that you need to track. Take responsibility for that. Take responsibility for the way that you're comparing yourself online when you see these people with big followings and these big brands, that get away with posting crappy content. Take responsibility for the way you react. Take responsibility for being better. Take responsibility for being a good beauty therapist that doesn't expect the dreamiest clients while actually you're being a bit flaky or inconsistent or, not actually brave enough to respect your business like a business. The more of you that do this, and I know that you're in my world because you are, the person that wants more out of life. You're listening to this because you're the person that wants to build your business. You're not here to be playing small. You're not here to be taking crap. So, if there are little parts of this that triggered you, that made you think, bloody hell, I was talking to me, ouch, that hurt, or anything like that, then step outside of your comfort zone and actually take all of this radical responsibility with all of these areas that I spoke about. Because when you take radical responsibility, when you take that responsibility to grow into the person that is ready to hold that next level version of your business, when you grow into the person that's ready to look past followers, to look past, actually comparing yourself online, when you're ready to start owning your own thoughts and stepping into that person who believes in something and wants your brand to be known for something and takes all of that control and starts leading and starts taking their business seriously, your business will grow with you. And that is the whole point. It is all about who you are being, who you are showing up as, so that you can hold that level of your business. If this hits home for you, if any of this hits home, make sure to take a screenshot, pop it on your stories and tag me and let me know what your favourite part was. What is your favourite part of the rant? Can't help it. I'm sorry. It just needed to be done. Share this with somebody that needs to hear it because it helps more than you know. And what I would really love for you to do is hit follow and leave a review, please. That would do me the most favours ever. I would love you forever. I always do. But it helps me to get this to more people. And so then I can start getting this to the people that really need it. It'll uplift the industry and it will help me keep bringing you more and more great guests and great content. So yeah, I'll leave it there. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope I didn't offend you too much. And I'll see you on the next one.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and gained valuable insights that will help you in your beauty business and life. If you did, please take a screenshot and tag me in your stories. If you've got any questions or comments, please feel free to reach out to me on any of my socials. The links are always in the descriptions. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast and leave us a review. Your feedback helps us improve and bring you more and more great content. Until next time, keep building that business.